15. Black R&B divas who slept with everyone. What if the queens of R&B, the very voices that defined love, soul, and survival, were also the center of the wildest scandals in music history? Behind the glitz of Motown stages, Grammy wins, and chart-topping ballads, whispers told a darker tale. Divas entangled in forbidden romances, power struggles, and rumors that they had slept with everyone. This isn't just gossip. It's the shadow side of fame that the industry tried to bury. Stay with us, hit that like button, and subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence, because tonight we uncover the 15 R&B divas who shook the world. Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin's voice was not just powerful, it was transformative. When she recorded Respect in 1967, she gave the civil rights movement an anthem and cemented her place as the Queen of Soul. Over the course of her career, she sold more than 75 million records worldwide, won 18 Grammy Awards, and in 1987, she became the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. These are facts no scandal could ever erase. Yet despite her towering achievements, the public seemed equally fascinated by the rumors that surrounded her personal life. Behind the stage lights, whispers began early in her career. Some industry insiders claimed that Aretha had shared a special closeness with Sam Cooke, the gospel-turned-soul star whose life ended tragically in 1964. Others believed she had also been romantically connected to Marvin Gaye, another Motown legend. These tales were never confirmed by either party, but they persisted in bar rooms, recording studios, and tabloids of the 1960s and 70s. Instead of disappearing, the rumors gained momentum, suggesting Aretha had lived a life entangled with some of the biggest voices in soul. Her early marriage to Ted White only added fuel to speculation. The relationship, marked by conflict, ended in divorce, and the press capitalized on every detail. Headlines weren't satisfied with her music. They demanded to know who she loved, who she left, and who might be next. At a time when black women in the music industry already faced disproportionate scrutiny, Aretha became a symbol of both empowerment and unfair judgment. The truth is, Aretha's love life was far more complicated than tabloid whispers. She had 4 sons, the firstborn when she was only 12 years old, and she carried the weight of being a young mother while chasing a career that demanded perfection. Later relationships, including her engagement to longtime partner Willie Wilkerson, showed her yearning for stability. Yet stability was something Aretha rarely found, as every appearance with a new man fueled another round of speculation. Still, her voice silenced all doubts. Songs like Chain of Fools, Natural Woman, and Think weren't just hits, they were cultural statements that outlived the gossip. When she performed at President Barack Obama's inauguration in 2009, wearing her iconic bow hat, the world wasn't talking about rumors. They were talking about history being made again by a woman whose music defined generations. Aretha Franklin's story proves that greatness often carries a heavy price. She was a diva, a mother, a fighter, and yes, a woman constantly haunted by whispers. But when the final note is sung, what remains is not the rumor, but the respect. She taught the world that even amid judgment and scandal, a black woman's voice could move mountains and still reign supreme. Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole, born in Oakland in 1981, rose from a tough childhood to become one of R&B's most recognizable voices of the 2000s. Her debut album, The Way It Is, 2005, sold over 1.6 million copies in the US and produced classics like Love and I Should Have Cheated. Her raw honesty and powerful delivery quickly made her a fan favorite, often compared to Mary J. Blige for blending pain with soul. By the mid-2000s, she had earned platinum plaques, Grammy nominations, and her own BET reality series, Keisha Cole, The Way It Is, which gave fans a direct look at her life and struggles. But the transparency that made her relatable also made her a magnet for scandal. Her marriage to NBA player Daniel "Boobie" Gibson in 2011 was televised, turning their love into a public spectacle. When the relationship soured, ending in divorce in 2017, every argument and accusation became fodder for tabloids. The drama spilled onto social media, where Keishia's candid posts often left fans speculating about her next move. Beyond her marriage, Keishia's love life was constantly in the spotlight. She was linked to several rappers and music producers, with some gossip columns even hinting at relationships with female colleagues. None of these claims were confirmed, but her own cryptic tweets and Instagram captions often fueled speculation rather than silenced it. Her music reflected the chaos. Tracks like Heaven Sent and Enough of No Love resonated deeply because they sounded like confessions. Fans felt they were living her diary in real time. Industry insiders even crowned her R&B's drama queen, a title that was both critical and celebratory. Despite all the turmoil, Keyshia Cole's resilience has kept her relevant. She's sold millions of records, mentored younger artists, and continued to perform worldwide. Her story is not just one of scandal, but also survival. The girl from Oakland who turned her struggles into soulful art, proving that even drama can create lasting legacy. Diana Ross. Diana Ross is more than a superstar. She is an institution. Rising to fame in the 1960s as the lead singer of the Supremes, she became one of the most successful female vocalists in history. With 12 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100 and over 100 million records sold worldwide, Ross not only defined Motown's golden era, but also broke barriers for Black women in entertainment. She transitioned seamlessly into a solo career with timeless songs like Ain't No Mountain High Enough and Endless Love, proving she was not just a group leader, but a force of her own. But alongside her unparalleled success came a wave of headlines that had little to do with music. The most public revelation came when it was confirmed that her daughter Rhonda's father was none other than Berry Gordy, the powerful founder of Motown. This disclosure sent shockwaves through the industry. To some, it was a love story between a mogul and his star. To others, it raised questions about favoritism and power dynamics inside the label. Whispers didn't stop there. Tabloids in the US and Europe claimed Diana had been romantically linked to wealthy businessmen, Hollywood producers, and even international stars. Photographs of her leaving exclusive parties with influential men sparked endless speculation. Some journalists even suggested that Ross used these relationships to expand her influence beyond music, entering the worlds of fashion, film, and global celebrity. What set Diana apart was how she responded to rumors. Instead of denying or hiding, she leaned into the spectacle. Her glamorous gowns, bold hairstyles, and commanding presence became a shield and a weapon. By embodying elegance and confidence, she transformed gossip into part of her legend. Every headline only seemed to elevate her, reinforcing her status as both untouchable diva and desirable icon. Her career in film added another dimension. In Lady Sings the Blues, 1972, she portrayed jazz legend Billie Holiday and earned an Academy Award nomination. The performance blurred lines between art and reality. Just as Billie's life was haunted by turmoil, Diana's off-screen narrative fed into the public's fascination with her vulnerability and strength. Despite the rumors, Ross never lost control of her narrative. She maintained her artistry for decades, performing at the Super Bowl in 1996 and headlining global tours well into her 70s. In 2012, she received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and in 2016, she was honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. These milestones remind the world that her true legacy is not scandal, it is resilience, artistry, and cultural impact. Diana Ross remains a paradox, the glamorous star who stood at the center of gossip, yet rose above it every time. To this day, when people hear her name, they think not only of the music, but also of the myths, proving that Ross understood one timeless truth. Legends are built not only on songs, but also on the stories people cannot stop telling. Tammy Terrell. Tammy Terrell's life was as bright and brief as a shooting star. Born in Philadelphia in 1945, she entered the world of music at a young age, signing with James Brown's Revue when she was only 17. By 1965, she had joined Motown Records, the label that would make her a household name. Though her solo career showed promise, It was her duets with Marvin Gaye that secured her legacy. Songs like Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Your Precious Love, and You're All I Need to Get By became instant classics, and the chemistry between Tammy and Marvin convinced audiences they were more than just partners on stage. Behind the dazzling performances, however, her private life was full of turbulence. Before Marvin, Tammy had been romantically linked to David Ruffin, the charismatic yet troubled lead singer of The Temptations. Their relationship, once celebrated as Motown's golden couple, soon turned dark. Friends and insiders recalled episodes of volatility and heartbreak, and David's erratic behavior took a toll on Tammy's fragile spirit. By the time their romance ended, she had already become a tragic figure in the eyes of many who loved her. Rumors swirled endlessly around Motown's close-knit circle. Some suggested that Smokey Robinson had shown a personal interest in Tammy, while others whispered that her undeniable bond with Marvin Gaye extended beyond the microphone. Audiences read every lingering glance, every harmony, as a confession of hidden love. Though Marvin himself later described their relationship as affectionate, but not romantic, speculation never truly died down. Do you think Tammy and Marvin's chemistry was purely musical genius, or was there something deeper hidden behind their legendary duets? The tragedy struck on October 14, 1967, when Tammy collapsed on stage in Marvin's arms during a concert in Virginia. Doctors discovered she had a malignant brain tumor. Over the next 3 years, she underwent 8 surgeries, each one sapping her strength but never her spirit. Marvin often visited her in the hospital, and the two maintained a profound emotional bond until her final days. On March 16, 1970, Tammy Terrell passed away at just 24 years old. Her death devastated Marvin Gaye, who sank into depression and withdrew from performing for a time. To many fans, the moment Tammy fell in Marvin's arms became an immortal symbol of love loss and the price of stardom. Tammy is remembered not only for her angelic voice, but also for the haunting sense of what might have been. She embodied the beauty and fragility of Motown's golden age, a young woman pulled into a whirlwind of fame, desire, and rumors she never lived long enough to escape. In every playback of her duets, listeners still hear both the joy of her talent and the sadness of a star extinguished too soon. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan's presence has always been larger than life. Born Yvette Marie Stevens in Chicago in 1953, she first found fame as the powerhouse lead vocalist of Rufus, where her voice electrified hits like Tell Me Something Good and Sweet Thing. By the mid-1970s, she had already earned a Grammy Award and established herself as a voice that could shift seamlessly from funk to soul to jazz. Her solo career soared with I'm Every Woman in 1978, a song that not only topped charts, but also became an anthem of empowerment. Over the decades, she would collect 10 Grammy Awards and sell millions of records, securing her place as one of the most enduring R&B icons. But Chaka Khan's legend has never been only about music. Tabloids painted her as a fiery spirit who blurred the line between performance and passion. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, rumors swirled that Chaka's magnetic energy attracted some of the most notorious figures in music. Her name was whispered alongside Rick James, known for his wild persona, and Prince, whose artistry matched her intensity. She was also linked by gossip to British rockers she met while touring internationally. None of these claims were ever substantiated, but they fed into an image of Chaka as a woman too fierce to be contained by convention. What gave those whispers credibility was Chaka herself. In interviews, she admitted that she lived life at full speed, unafraid of risks in love or art. She was open about struggles with addiction and equally candid about her desire to experience life without regret. For fans, these revelations only made the stories of whirlwind romances seem more believable. To critics, they reinforced the stereotype of the wild diva, but to her supporters, they made her more authentic, an artist who didn't hide behind polished PR statements. On stage, she was irresistible, an afro that seemed to burn under the lights. a voice that could roar or whisper with equal force and a charisma that demanded attention. Her concerts often felt less like performances and more like encounters with pure fire. It was little wonder that audiences believed every rumor about backstage passions and late-night adventures. Yet behind the gossip stood an undeniable truth. Chaka Khan remained fiercely in control of her narrative. She used her image as a rebellious, passionate diva not to diminish herself, but to strengthen her brand. Even when her private life was scrutinized, her artistry spoke louder. Collaborations with Quincy Jones, Miles Davis, and Stevie Wonder reminded the world that her genius was not a product of scandal, but of raw, unmatched talent. Chaka Khan's story is one of contradictions, a woman adored for her music, yet endlessly dissected for her rumored affairs. A diva criticized for excess, but respected for honesty. Through it all, she emerged not as a casualty of the spotlight, but as its master. Her legacy is proof that sometimes living fearlessly, even amid rumor and judgment, is the surest path to immortality. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston's rise was nothing short of miraculous. Born in 1963 into a family of music royalty, her mother Cissy Houston, a gospel singer, her cousin Dionne Warwick, a legend, and her godmother Aretha Franklin Whitney was destined for greatness. By the mid-1980s, she became the first artist to have 7 consecutive #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Her self-titled debut album and its follow-up, Whitney sold more than 40 million copies, combined worldwide, making her one of the best-selling female artists in history. Her performance of I Will Always Love You for the Bodyguard soundtrack later shattered records, becoming one of the best-selling singles of all time. But with immense success came relentless scrutiny. Whitney's private life became tabloid fuel long before her tragic decline. The most public chapter was her marriage to Bobby Brown in 1992. Their union, filled with love but plagued by chaos, became a constant headline. Fights, arrests, and drug use turned their relationship into a real-life soap opera, and the press followed every detail. Even more intriguing to the public was Whitney's lifelong bond with her close friend and assistant Robin Crawford. Their closeness sparked decades of speculation, with whispers that their relationship may have gone beyond friendship. When Robin later admitted in her memoir that the two had indeed shared a romantic connection in the early years, fans saw Whitney in a new light, not only as a superstar, but also as a woman who had carried a secret love in a world not ready to accept it. Do you think Whitney's story would have been different if she had been allowed to love freely without judgment from the media and society? The rumors did not stop with Robin or Bobby. Paparazzi often connected Whitney's name to male celebrities, from athletes to Hollywood actors. The mere sight of her at a party with another star was enough for tabloids to spin tales of hidden affairs. Whether these were true or not, the stories added to the paradox of her image, a flawless diva on stage, yet a woman allegedly caught in a maze of romances off it. Her struggles with substance abuse complicated the narrative further. Critics claimed the pressure of fame and her turbulent marriage pushed her deeper into addiction. But many fans sympathized, seeing in Whitney a vulnerable human being trapped between the expectations of perfection and the hunger of a world that wanted scandal more than truth. Whitney Houston passed away on February 11, 2012, at just 48 years old, found in a hotel bathtub on the eve of the Grammy Awards. Her death shocked the globe, but even in mourning, speculation swirled about what truly destroyed her fame, love, or loneliness. Her story remains one of brilliance and tragedy. She was the voice, an artist whose songs still echo across generations. Yet her life also became a cautionary tale of how relentless public curiosity about love and scandal can overshadow even the greatest talent. Anita Baker. Anita Baker's artistry has always been about elegance, restraint, and emotion. Born in Toledo, Ohio in 1958 and raised in Detroit, she began singing in local groups before joining the funk band Chapter 8 in the late 1970s. But it was her solo career that made her a household name. In 1986, with the release of Rapture, Anita redefined R&B balladry. The album went multi-platinum, selling over 8 million copies worldwide, and earned her 2 Grammy Awards, including Best R&B Vocal Performance for the hauntingly beautiful Sweet Love. Throughout her career, she collected 8 Grammys and inspired countless artists with her quiet storm style, subtle yet deeply powerful. Yet for all her professionalism and understated grace on stage, Anita became the subject of endless speculation off it. Her public image, reserved, almost mysterious, ironically made her a target for gossip. Tabloids suggested that behind the polished exterior, Anita was entangled in secret affairs with prominent figures in jazz and soul. A few publications hinted at a connection with married colleagues, while others speculated that she maintained long, discreet relationships with fellow musicians whose names never made it to print. These rumors were never confirmed, but Anita's silence on the matter only seemed to fuel them further. The nickname "The Quiet Storm with the Loudest Secrets" began circulating among fans and journalists in the late 1980s. It reflected the contradiction at the heart of her public persona, a woman who sang about love with unmatched sincerity, but was rumored to live a far more complicated romantic life away from the microphone. Unlike some of her peers, Anita rarely gave interviews, and when she did, she stayed focused on music rather than gossip. This only deepened the mystique. Her marriage to Walter Bridgeforth Jr. in 1988 seemed at first like stability, but when they divorced in 2008 after 20 years together, the press rushed to fill the silence with speculation. Some claimed the marriage had been strained by Anita's demanding career. Others suggested unverified personal issues. Once again, Anita herself offered few details, allowing the media to shape the narrative in her absence. Despite all the whispers, Anita Baker's true legacy lies in her music. Songs like "Giving You the Best That I Got," which topped the Billboard Hot 100 R&B chart in 1988, showcased her ability to blend vulnerability with strength. Fans connected to her honesty in lyrics, even if they knew little about her real-life loves. Perhaps that is why the rumors lingered so long, because her art was so authentic. Listeners assumed it had to be drawn from secret experiences she never spoke about. Anita Baker remains an icon of sophistication and depth. While the world speculated about hidden romances, she let her songs do the talking. Her story is proof that sometimes silence is not weakness but power. The kind of power that allows an artist to keep her mystery intact while leaving behind music that will never fade. Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson was born into music royalty, the youngest of the Jackson family dynasty. From her early days on Good Times and Different Strokes to her breakout 1986 album Control, she proved she was more than just Michael's sister. She was a force of her own. Control sold over 10 million copies worldwide, earning her Grammy nominations and positioning her as the voice of female independence in R&B and pop. 3 years later, Rhythm Nation 1814 became a cultural juggernaut, producing 7 top 5 singles and solidifying her as one of the most influential artists of her generation. With more than 100 million records sold globally, Janet Jackson became not only an R&B diva, but an international icon. Yet her private life was never left untouched. In 1984, at only 18, Janet secretly married singer James DeBarge. Within a year, the marriage fell apart, but whispers persisted that it left behind an even bigger secret, a possible child born during the union hidden from the public eye. This rumor, never confirmed, haunted Janet for decades, resurfacing in interviews and tabloids that insisted she carried a truth too controversial to reveal. Her second marriage to dancer and songwriter Renee Elizondo Jr. was kept hidden from the press for nearly a decade, only revealed when Renee filed for divorce in 2000. The divorce documents exposed a life of secrecy, financial battles, and betrayal that fascinated the public. For many, this revelation painted Janet as a woman whose private choices were as dramatic as her music. Janet's rumored relationships extended beyond her marriages. During the filming of Poetic Justice in 1993, whispers spread about an off-screen connection with Tupac Shakur. Tupac himself joked in an interview that Janet wanted him to take an HIV test before filming intimate scenes, a comment that ignited endless speculation about whether their chemistry ran deeper than the script. Later, Janet's long-term relationship with producer Jermaine Dupri became public. But even then, tabloids tied her name to other artists, executives, and industry power players. The nickname Untouchable but Never Alone followed her career. She cultivated an image of independence and mystery, yet the media insisted she was never truly without a secret companion. For Janet, the rumors became both curse and shield. They threatened to overshadow her achievements, but they also reinforced her allure as a woman audiences could never fully grasp. Despite it all, Janet's artistry never faltered. She headlined world tours, grossing hundreds of millions, broke records with her Janet and All For You albums, and in 2019 was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Even controversies like the infamous 2004 Super Bowl halftime show, where a wardrobe malfunction with Justin Timberlake dominated headlines, did not erase her contributions. Instead, it highlighted how one of the greatest female entertainers in history was consistently judged more for whispers than for her monumental achievements. Janet Jackson's story is one of paradox, bold, yet secretive, glamorous, yet vulnerable, fiercely independent, yet constantly linked to rumors of hidden love. Through it all, she never stopped performing, never stopped innovating, and never stopped reminding the world that mystery is sometimes the greatest form of power. Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige, born in 1971 in the Bronx, redefined what it meant to be an R&B diva. With her debut album, What's the 411 in 1992, produced by Sean Diddy Combs, she fused hip-hop beats with soulful vocals, creating a genre that became known as hip-hop soul. By the late 1990s, she was hailed as the Queen of Hip-Hop Soul, earning 9 Grammy Awards, selling over 100 million records worldwide, and influencing an entire generation of singers. Her catalog of hits like Real Love Not Gone Cry and Be Without You proved she could channel pain into power better than almost anyone. Yet Mary's private life was never shielded from public consumption. Her marriage to Kendu Isaacs, whom she wed in 2003, appeared at first to bring stability. He was also her manager, overseeing much of her career. But when the marriage collapsed in 2016, it turned into one of the most bitter public divorces in music. Court documents revealed allegations of financial betrayal, infidelity, and extravagant spending. The press poured over every legal detail, transforming Mary's heartbreak into tabloid spectacle. Long before the divorce, however, Mary had been a subject of whispers in the music industry. In the 1990s, she was rumored to have been romantically involved with figures like Sean Diddy Combs, Nas, and Method Man. Some called these passing flings, others claimed they were more substantial. None of these were ever officially confirmed, but gossip columns and fans alike repeated the stories until they became part of Mary's lore. What made these rumors so persistent was Mary's artistry itself. Every time she sang about heartbreak, betrayal, or survival, audiences assumed the lyrics came straight from her own diary. The line between her personal life and her music blurred, making it easy for fans to believe every rumor about her relationships. After the Kendu Isaacs divorce, tabloids claimed Mary found solace in the company of other musicians and industry insiders, though she never publicly confirmed any new partners. Despite the drama, Mary continued to rise. She earned Academy Award nominations for Mudbound in 2017, became the first person in history nominated for acting and songwriting Oscars in the same year, and in 2021, headlined the Super Bowl halftime show alongside Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar. Her resilience became just as much a part of her brand as her vulnerability. Mary J. Blige remains a paradox, a woman who turned her pain into art but could never fully escape the gossip that surrounded her. For some, she is the voice of survival. For others, she is the diva, forever entangled in endless whispers. Either way, her story proves that the line between legend and rumor is often razor thin, and sometimes it is the rumors themselves that keep the legend alive. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton's voice is velvet and pain wrapped in one. Born in Severn, Maryland in 1967, she first sang in church with her sisters before breaking into the mainstream in the early 1990s. Her self-titled debut album in 1993 sold over 10 million copies worldwide, and singles like Another Sad Love Song and Breathe Again introduced her as one of the most soulful balladeers of her generation. In 1996, her sophomore album, Secrets, brought the monumental hit Unbreak My Heart, which spent 11 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the best-selling singles of all time. With 7 Grammy Awards and more than 70 million records sold globally, Toni Braxton carved her name into R&B history as the Queen of Ballads. Yet her love life often overshadowed her achievements. In the mid-1990s, tabloids buzzed with rumors that Toni was romantically linked to Eddie Murphy, an unlikely pairing that shocked both the music and comedy worlds. Stories claimed they had been seen together in Los Angeles, though neither confirmed the speculation. The lack of denial allowed the rumors to grow, adding another layer of intrigue to her already dramatic image. Later, Toni stunned fans by going public with her relationship with Birdman, the heavily tattooed rap mogul behind Cash Money Records. The contrast between the soft-spoken ballad diva and the brash hip-hop executive fascinated the media. Supporters praised her for breaking boundaries, while critics questioned the pairing, fueling debates on red carpets and in fan forums alike. The whispers didn't end there. Throughout her career, Toni was linked in tabloids to athletes, actors, and other industry insiders. Sometimes it was nothing more than a photograph at a party or a friendly dinner captured by paparazzi, yet each appearance birthed a new headline. Journalists labeled her the diva, who breaks hearts and collects them all, a phrase that stuck and, for better or worse, became part of her mythology. Beyond romance, Toni also faced personal battles that made her seem even more vulnerable and relatable. She publicly struggled with lupus and financial hardship, declaring bankruptcy twice, despite her enormous success. Instead of diminishing her, these challenges added complexity to her story. She was not just a glamorous star, but also a woman navigating health issues, love, and survival in an unforgiving industry. On stage, she turned every rumor, every heartbreak into fuel for her performances. Fans didn't just hear her voice, they felt her lived experiences. When Toni sang He Wasn't Man Enough in 2000, audiences couldn't help but wonder if it was another piece of her private diary set to music. Toni Braxton's story is not just about chart-topping hits or scandalous headlines. It is about a woman who dared to live and love in ways that fascinated and divided the public, all while maintaining her crown as one of R&B's most unforgettable divas. She remains a symbol of resilience, sensuality, and mystery, forever collecting hearts both on and off the stage. Faith Evans. Faith Evans carved her place in music history not only with her smooth, gospel-trained voice, but also with a private life that became one of hip-hop's most dramatic sagas. Born in 1973 in Lakeland, Florida, and raised in New Jersey, she began singing in church before joining Sean Diddy Combs' Bad Boy Records in the mid-1990s. Her debut album, Faith 1995, introduced her as the label's first female artist and quickly went platinum, driven by hits like Soon as I Get Home. With a career that has since spanned 7 studio albums, a Grammy win for I'll Be Missing You with Diddy, and millions of records sold worldwide, Faith remains a defining voice of 1990s R&B. But her story cannot be told without her tumultuous marriage to the notorious B.I.G. The two wed just days after meeting in 1994, a whirlwind romance that immediately caught the public's attention. As Biggie rose to fame, so did the controversies surrounding their union. Rumors of infidelity plagued the marriage, but the most explosive scandal came when rapper Tupac Shakur implied in the infamous track Hit 'Em Up that he had been romantically involved with Faith. Though she denied the claim, the mere suggestion of an affair with her husband's rival added fuel to one of hip-hop's fiercest feuds. Even after Biggie's tragic death in 1997, whispers followed Faith. Some saw her as a grieving widow caught in an impossible spotlight, while others accused her of moving on too quickly. In later years, her surprising marriage to producer and longtime friend Stevie J in 2018 shocked fans. Stevie, known for his wild reputation on reality television, seemed like an unlikely partner for the soulful diva, and tabloids wasted no time branding their relationship as another chapter in Faith's dramatic love story. Through it all, Faith never shied away from addressing her past. In her 2008 memoir, Keep the Faith, which won the African American Literary Award for Best Biography, she shared her perspective on love loss and life in the music industry. Her candidness gave fans a glimpse into the pain behind the headlines, but it didn't stop new rumors from surfacing. Every friendship with an industry figure was scrutinized, every collaboration spun into speculation. Yet Faith Evans's legacy is not defined by gossip alone. She is the only female artist featured prominently in the East Coast-West Coast feud, and her voice on I'll Be Missing You became an anthem of grief and remembrance after Biggie's murder, topping the Billboard Hot 100 for 11 consecutive weeks. That song, more than any rumor, cemented her as the soulful heart of Bad Boy Records. Faith Evans remains a paradox, the diva whose love life was endlessly analyzed, but also the woman whose voice gave depth to an entire era of R&B and hip-hop. Her story is proof that legends are built not only on the songs they sing, but also on the storms they survive. Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu's arrival in the 1990s was like a cosmic shift in R&B. Born Erykah Wright in Dallas, Texas in 1971, she burst onto the scene with her debut album Baduism in 1997. The record, featuring hits like On and Next Lifetime, went triple platinum and earned her 2 Grammy Awards. Instantly, she was dubbed the High Priestess of Neo-Soul, a title that fit not just her music, but her aura, incense, head wraps, layered vocals, and lyrics that blended spirituality with raw truth. Over the years, she released critically acclaimed albums such as Mama's Gun and New America Part 1, influencing a generation of artists who followed. But beyond her artistry, Erykah became famous for something else, her mysterious and magnetic personal life. The public was fascinated by her relationships with some of hip-hop's most gifted men. She dated Andre 3000 of Outkast, and their partnership produced not just their son Seven, but also one of Andre's most creative peaks, culminating in songs like Ms. Jackson that fans saw as both personal and universal. Later, she was romantically linked with rapper Common, who openly admitted that being with Erykah changed his outlook on life and artistry. Then came her relationship with Jay Electronica, another rapper who credited her as a profound source of inspiration. These romances sparked a narrative that Erykah had a kind of spellbinding effect with tabloids and fans alike, claiming that every man who left her emerged more creative, introspective, and transformed. Some even called her the woman who turned men into poets. While playful, the nickname stuck, fueling endless theories about her influence. Erykah herself never seemed bothered by the whispers. Instead, she embraced ambiguity, often responding with wit, charm, or silence. Draped in vibrant scarves and flowing outfits, she cultivated an image that blurred the lines between reality and myth. Her aura made every rumor feel both possible and impossible at the same time. Despite the fascination with her love life, her artistry remained at the core. She earned 4 Grammy Awards, collaborated with icons like The Roots D'Angelo and Questlove, and consistently pushed boundaries in sound and performance. Even her 2015 mixtape, But You Can't Use My Phone, proved she could reinvent herself while staying rooted in authenticity. Erykah Badu stands as both a musician and a cultural enigma. To some, she is a muse whose lovers became legends. To others, she is a fearless woman who refused to shrink herself for the comfort of the public. Whether through incense-filled concerts, spiritual musings on social media, or the irresistible mystery of her personal life, she remains unforgettable. Her story shows how artistry and rumor can intertwine, not to diminish a legend, but to deepen the fascination around her. Brandy Norwood. Brandy Norwood, born in Mississippi in 1979, and raised in California, rose to fame as America's sweetheart of the 1990s. With her angelic voice and relatable charm, she became one of the youngest stars to dominate both music and television. Her debut album, Brandy 1994, sold over 6 million copies worldwide, powered by hits like I Wanna Be Down and Baby. By 1998, she was already an international superstar, with her second album, Never Say Never, going quadruple platinum and producing the global smash The Boy Is Mine, a duet with Monica that topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 13 consecutive weeks. At the same time, her role as the lead character in the sitcom Moesha made her a household name and a role model for young black girls across America. But beneath her polished image, Brandy's private life became the subject of constant speculation. The most shocking revelation came when it was confirmed she had dated Wanya Morris of Boys to Two Men while still a teenager. The age difference and secrecy surrounding the relationship caused a scandal that tarnished her squeaky clean reputation. Once exposed, fans began to question whether the perfect pop princess had been hiding more than anyone imagined. Rumors didn't stop there. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Brandy's name was linked to several R&B peers. Whispers suggested a closeness with Usher, while others claimed ties to members of the group Jagged Edge. Though never confirmed, the frequency of these stories created a pattern. Every time Brandy appeared alongside another male artist, speculation about romance quickly followed. The press seemed determined to shift her image from innocent role model to diva, entangled in behind-the-scenes affairs. Her career itself also became intertwined with controversy. In 2002, she announced a surprise marriage and pregnancy, presenting herself as a happy wife and expectant mother. But years later, it was revealed that she and producer Robert Big Bert Smith had never legally married, sparking accusations that she had misled fans to protect her wholesome image. Critics labeled it a calculated move, while supporters defended her as a young woman trying to navigate fame under impossible pressure. Despite these scandals, Brandy's musical and cultural impact remained undeniable. She sold more than 40 million records worldwide, won a Grammy Award, and influenced a new generation of singers from Beyoncé to Ariana Grande. Known for her intricate vocal arrangements, she earned the nickname the Vocal Bible from peers in the industry. Brandy's story is one of duality, adored as a symbol of innocence, yet repeatedly pulled into rumors that threaten to undo that image. Instead of erasing her, these controversies only deepened her legend, making her both a cautionary tale of fame and a testament to resilience. She remains a diva who, despite whispers of being in everyone's arms, carved her place as one of R&B's most influential voices. Ashanti Douglas. Ashanti Douglas, born in 1980 in Glen Cove, New York, entered the music industry at the turn of the millennium and quickly claimed her crown as the Princess of R&B. Her breakout came in 2002 with her self-titled debut album, Ashanti, which sold over 6 million copies worldwide and earned her the Guinness World Record for the most albums sold by a debut female artist in a single week, over 503,000 copies. That same year, she won a Grammy Award for Best Contemporary R&B Album, and singles like Foolish dominated the charts, cementing her as one of the brightest stars of her generation. But alongside her meteoric rise came endless rumors about her love life. The most public relationship was with rapper Nelly. For nearly a decade, the two were hip-hop and R&B's golden couple, appearing together at award shows, music videos, and red carpets. Yet when the relationship ended around 2013, tabloids immediately suggested there were betrayals and complications hidden behind their glamorous appearances. Some stories even claimed that the long silence from both sides was proof that the breakup had been far messier than they admitted. Even before and during her time with Nelly, Ashanti's name was frequently linked to her Murder, Inc. family, particularly Ja Rule. Their undeniable chemistry on duets like Always on Time and Mesmerize fueled speculation that their connection went beyond the studio. Both artists denied it, calling their partnership strictly professional, but fans and tabloids were never convinced. Every stage performance, every music video with passionate eye contact only added fire to the gossip. The rumors didn't stop there. Ashanti was often photographed with other industry insiders, producers, rappers, even athletes, and each sighting sparked a new headline. Some magazines gave her the nickname, the untouchable princess of endless whispers, suggesting that her beauty and success inevitably attracted speculation. What made these stories stick was Ashanti's own silence. She rarely addressed the gossip directly, preferring to let her music and performances do the talking. Despite the noise, Ashanti continued to evolve as an artist. She released multiple albums, acted in films like Coach Carter and John Tucker Must Die, and performed on global stages. She also took control of her career by re-recording her debut album to regain ownership of her masters, a move praised as bold and empowering. Her resilience proved that she was more than the rumors, that her artistry had real staying power. Ashanti Douglas remains a paradox in R&B history, a woman who seemed untouchable on stage yet constantly surrounded by speculation off it. Her story shows how beauty, talent, and silence can combine to create an aura of mystery the public cannot resist. Whether as Nelly's former partner Ja Rule's unforgettable duet companion, or a solo powerhouse, Ashanti turned whispers into part of her legend, all while keeping her crown as the princess of R&B. Kalani Parrish. Kalani Ashley Parrish, born in Oakland in 1995, represents a new generation of R&B divas. She first captured attention as a member of the teen group Pop Life on America's Got Talent in 2011, but her solo career soon outshined it. Her debut mixtape, Cloud 19 2014, and Grammy-nominated You Should Be Here 2015, marked her as a rising star. By the time her debut album, Sweet Sexy Savage, dropped in 2017, Kalani had already been hailed as one of the most authentic voices of her era. With over 2 billion streams across platforms, she established herself as both commercially successful and critically respected. What set Kalani apart, however, was her willingness to live and love publicly. She was first linked to NBA star Kyrie Irving, a relationship that ended in heartbreak and public drama when rumors swirled about her involvement with rapper Party Next Door. The story exploded on social media with memes and headlines dissecting every post. Instead of retreating, Kalani faced it head-on, often using Twitter and Instagram to confirm, deny, or clap back at speculation. Her romance with rapper YG, made official on a 2019 red carpet, further cemented her reputation as someone unafraid to love out loud. When the relationship ended just months later, it became another high-profile headline, but Kalani's candid responses turned even breakups into moments of empowerment. Beyond these publicized relationships, rumors often tied her to fellow artists, dancers, and industry insiders, reflecting her openness about identifying as queer and rejecting labels. Unlike past divas who let tabloids control the story, Kalani narrates her own. Whether posting cryptic live streams, writing heartfelt captions, or addressing gossip in her music, she refuses to let the media dictate her narrative. This transparency has made her a voice for a generation that values authenticity over perfection. Her songs, Nights Like This, Distraction, and Toxic mirror her love life. Passionate, messy, but undeniably real. Fans connect with her precisely because she doesn't hide her flaws. In doing so, Kalani has become a new kind of diva, one who wears her scars openly, turning rumors into proof of resilience and freedom. Kalani Parrish is not just a singer, but a cultural force embodying what it means to live unapologetically. Where previous divas fought against whispers, she embraces them, reshaping scandal into truth and leaving behind a legacy built on courage, authenticity, and love without limits. Behind every timeless hit lies a story the world may never fully know. These 15 Black R&B divas gave us songs that healed, inspired, and transformed entire generations. Yet their private lives became arenas of rumor, love, and scandal. Were they victims of a judgmental society, or women boldly living on their own terms? The truth may lie somewhere in between. What do you think? Do the whispers diminish their legacies, or do they make their legends even stronger? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more untold stories that challenge the spotlight.